Philly's favorite 100.7 FM and 99.5 HD3. Welcome everybody. We're getting started with Real Talk with the real estate diva Desiree McDuffie, who knows all things about real estate. Today we have a special guest and we'll be talking about permits and zoning. Get your pens out, get your paper out, be ready. Here we go.
Your girl Desiree Real Estate Diva McDuffie here with another Real Talk with the Real Estate Diva show. Today I am with Miss Paulette Ahmad. She is the actual Philly permit plug, our permit and zoning expert and expediter. And we also have, of course, our wonderful co-host, Miss Kiwa of Ink Activated, and she's a mobile notary. So we're going to jump right into it, guys. I'm going to allow Miss Paulette Ahmad to give us some wonderful information about herself and how she ended up getting into permit expediting. And real quick though, we used to work together. I met Miss Paulette, oh my God, what, 10, 15? I don't know. 15, at least 10 years ago. At least 10 years ago. We were both doing some real estate stuff. She was a real estate agent. I am still an agent, right? But, you know, I was out doing what I was doing and we somehow connected and I don't know, it went to a whole other level from that point on. And we've pretty much developed a friendship since that point on. So, you know, I have true admiration for this lady and all that she's done in the real estate industry and now in zoning. So without further ado, Miss Paulette Ahmad, let's hear it.
Thank you. I so appreciate you, Des. Miss Real Estate Diva McDuffie is only one. So, yeah, guys, hey, how are you? This is Paulette Ahmad, Philly Permit Expeditors, a.k.a. your Philly Permit Plug. And I'm definitely happy to be here. I'm honored to be on the show. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
But listen, guys, you never know where life is going to lead you. You know what I mean? So, you know, long story short, licensed as an agent, 15 years since 2008. But as an agent, you tend to specialize. My little short story, you tend to specialize in different areas. You specialize as a seller's agent, a buyer's agent. I was at buyer's agent and an investor's agent. I kind of knew where I was kind of pretty good at, you know. Once I went through that phase, I realized investors is kind of where I planted my feet at. And as a real estate professional, we want to be their end all be all. I don't care if you need your laundry done. I don't care if you need a babysitter, a cleaner. We want to be their one-stop shop. So we not could just sell them the house, but we're at the top of their mind when we're doing other things, you know, after they living in their property. So one of the things I did was I became efficient with dealing with buyers and investors. And you have to move pretty fast with investors because they're not loyal.
Yes.
As an agent, at the time I was an agent, and I found myself doing, I still owned a commercial cleaning company at the time for almost 10 years. So I found myself actually doing project management. And at the time I didn't know it was project management. I just figured as an agent, I'm hustling. So I'm selling the real estate to the investor. I'm renting the real estate to the investor. I am I'm cleaning the properties for the investor. You know,
managing the property.
Managing the properties for the investor. And then I turned around.
She was doing everything.
Wow. And this is because my investors a lot of times are from out of state. Okay. So you never really saw them much. You only saw us. You only saw me. So I want to be the super agent. So I came out here and I'm trying to do everything. And then I realized I'm driving trucks from the depot. I'm paying the workers. You know, I had to find a hard money company to deal with. I had to meet the appraisers. I had to do the draw schedules. I had to do all of that for my investors. And then I stumbled across having to go to the city for permits because now we're in construction phases I had no idea about. And I found out myself downtown. I still didn't know what I was doing. You know, so it took us to go into another transaction where I lost a $10,000 deposit for my client through zoning.
Wow.
And I actually cried tears. Seriously, I cried tears.
I would cry tears too.
But it was non-refundable, and he kind of knew that. But still, I just thought I was this. I mean, I had so many things I had going on. So I thought I did a really great job. And at the zone, I thought I knew what I knew that I didn't know. Based on who I call. But sometimes when you say, if you don't know the right questions to ask, you don't get the answers correctly. So when you relay it, it's incorrect. So that's kind of what happened to me. So Fast forward, I get down to the city, and they thought I was something called an expediter. Mind you, I'm dressed to the tilt because I'm an agent. You respect me, right? We have a cockiness about us when we're agents and other people, right? So I got down there really quick. I got down there really quick, and I found out that they thought I was an expediter. I had no idea what it was. I just knew that certain people would have these pulleys with these plans, and they would go straight to the back, and they just knew where they was going. And I was like, well, who is that? But all these thousands of people standing here. And then you hear the conversation, they have an expediter. Oh, they have an expediter. So I wanted to be that expediter. So I became an expediter. And then very quickly I realized I had to wear some sneaks every day. I had to wear sneaks. Had to get there at 8 o'clock in the morning. Got rid of the heels.
I don't know about that.
I mean, I had to get rid of all of that. And I'm going to tell you, it was a lot of women you dealing with down there at the city, you know. And they're not nice. So I actually had to earn my stripes in the beginning. So then real estate kicked back in. Now I'm doing more of his work than I'm selling houses, right? Wow. So I real estate kicked back in. And I remember real estate, we always talk about building relationships. You know, building relationships is the key to wealth.
It's all about relationships.
So we build relationships. So when they were being mean to me and I didn't know what to do and I had to go back to the beginning line and pick another ticket because I had the wrong ticket, you know, I started taking notes. Well, who is that person and who is that person? And that's pretty much what I did. And then I started making sure my paperwork was correct and making sure this was written down, you know. And then I even went as far as to go up to other expediters that I thought was expediters to introduce myself. And then took a job for an expediting company.
Okay.
For only about 30 days until I realized they didn't want me to have that much control. And they wanted me to be a permit runner. It's two different things. You got something called a permit runner. And you have something called a permit expediter. Okay, so a permit runner is a person that a lot of times notaries actually have. There are notaries that are also permit runners where you just take the permits itself after the application has been prepared for you. They pass it off to the permit runner. All the permit runner's job is to deliver. And that is it. Okay. If it comes back, your job is to take it when it comes back and deliver it to whoever gave you and put the package together for you. As a permit expediter, I wanted to know what the problem was. I wanted to read those plans. I wanted to know who was responsible for correcting them. I wanted to know, why does this application have to be this way? Why didn't they catch the zoning? Well, why does the zoning even matter? I had too many questions for them that they wasn't comfortable with. And they basically said, we don't need you to do any of that. We just need you to do the dropping off and the picking up. But the problem with that is you deal with an individual that deals with the individual. So it goes to one or two people before it gets to the person that it needs to get to, because a lot of the projects I was working on was big downtown, the gallery projects. We were working on projects like that and tattoo parlors, and they have project managers like I essentially was at that time. So they had project managers. So as an expediter, we work with the project manager, and the project manager works with the architect. I ain't got time for all that. So I said, listen, I need to, so fast forward, I got all that done. I got back and I said, I need my GC license. So I got my GC license because I learned the phases of construction during the process when I was working for this investor too. So I'm double learning. I'm learning as expediter and I'm learning construction, you know. So I got my expediter's license, then I got my GC license. And then at some point, I didn't want to work for the investor anymore. I said, I just... Because they overwork you. When they work you, they work you. You work more than what you get paid. And I'm looking at this $300 a week. I said, this is not working. So I quit working for him. I actually put my license in escrow as a realtor. And I gave up my commercial cleaning company that I ran for 10 years with a company and threw 100% into expediting. And that was I threw 100% in 2019, and that's the same first year we made our first six figures. Nice. After that, and that was during the pandemic. So by then, I'm thinking, I had tunnel vision. I couldn't help it. I was on tunnel vision. But then I was kind of scared at the same time because I'm not a contractor. Well, I didn't know a lot as I thought I did. So as I learned, I literally had to get it from the mud. Nobody took my hand and said, well, let me show you how to do this. I had sticky notes and pads everywhere you could possibly think of. I would come with my stuff in my hand and they would say, no, how many questions you have? Because my questions were more than the paperwork I had because I wanted to really learn it. I really wanted to know. So, and then one day, it literally, when I say it clicked, I have no idea. If it was a way to find out what your calling was, this was my calling, my purpose, my whatever. So I jumped into it. And I'm always asking for more than what I get. So if you tell me I can zone the property this, I'm asking you, okay, well, what else can I do with it? And what else can I do this? And what else can I, know? So I actually liked it in a quirky kind of way, but then I learned how to read architectural plans. Because I had no choice. I learned about zoning, and I learned and dealing with people. I wound up building a relationship so good that by the time the pandemic hit, I had cell phone numbers. I was able to develop friendships out of that. I knew who was who, and who got promoted, and who got demoted, who wasn't there, who retired. It was like they thought I worked in the city because I was there all the time. And then building relationships again. Please, let me find out that you a T-shirt. You sell T-shirts. I'm buying 20 of them. Let me get a dozen. Or you sell cupcakes. I'll be like, really? Girl, let me get an order of cupcakes. Just so I figure if I support them back, again, stay on top of mine.
Yes.
And then I started needing help. And then my prices was not high enough. And I'm like, oh, the prices are not high enough. And then, as you get experience, you have to raise your prices with the experience. But I did it gradually as I grew, and I added services as I grew. So that's kind of like how I kind of built us up. I went through about 5 people before I found a good one.
Oh, absolutely.
Right now I got a good one and a few mentees. Right now, we have a brick and mortar. We had a brick and mortar for the last year and some months now. So I'm happy about that. My clients brought me out of working from home. I was fine working from home, but working from home, listen, when I tell you I was working sun up to sundown. Yep. Working at home, you really, really overwork yourself. But then more and more clients needed more hand holding, and you can't come to my house. So I said, well, let me, open up the space, because our business, because we started so heavily in social media, we started so heavily during the pandemic, it became, my business is 100% referral. And it also became 100% social media. So we built our business off of word of mouth. But I can move to Atlanta tomorrow and still run my company, because we still have more leads that come in through social media than we have that come in through our door.
One thing I can say about Miss Paulette Ahmad is, when she said that she was working for that other expediter, Miss Paulette is a boss. She's a boss. That was not going to last long at all. But also, you are very inquisitive. You're a go-getter, and you have a wonderful personality. You connect with people. So what came to my mind was, when the word says, your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. So
come on,
your
Des.
Gift is making room for you.
Yours
right?
Too, yeah.
And you said that what your calling is, this is your calling. I've known you for a lot of years. Like, you light up when you talk about this thing.
She does, y'all.
Yes.
Y'all should see her.
So
it's
excited
like the sun
about
is shining here in the
Yes.
building, guys. I see it. Oh my goodness.
Going over the city.
Yes, but
the
that's
sun
how
is
I
shining
feel.
in the building.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about what I do too. So it's something about, like, when you find that calling, right? It just sets your bones, like, sets you on fire. You get so excited about it, and I see that in you. Like, I really do. And yeah, you're doing an awesome job. So yeah, working for that other expediter.
Look, and they sold their business and everything like that now. And it's funny because the people I asked for help from prior to now come to me for help, and I charge them. So it's funny how they say work while you scared.
Yes.
Believe it or not,
That's true.
No, they said when you work scared. I actually work scared. I literally work scared. It is the
just do it.
thing.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. With this look, T.Y. sitting here shake her head.
Yeah, she's doing good though.
Like, listen,
She's doing
I'm
good.
doing this thing scared. They know every week I'm like, oh my God. But you just do it.
But she's shining too. So her light shines too. You see, when she started talking, Des, her light is shining too. It's glowing. It's like this. I can do this thing. And once like you said, when you work scared, it's like you know what you know. But it's like, okay, is everybody else going to receive what I know? How am I going to give all this information that I know to someone else so they can be able to understand what I have in my head? So you girls are doing good. Y'all doing some great things. I feel like the sun is shining. Need some sunglasses on. in the building, guys. I don't know about y'all today. Oh my goodness.
It's your hair, honey. It's the go. It's the golden
it's the blind glow.
It's the blind go.
It's the positive energy in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Yes, I appreciate it. I'm happy. I'm so excited. I'm so happy for Des. I don't know what to do with myself.
Thank
it's
you.
nothing like running back into your dear friends, your best friends, your close friends, and they're not where you was at. They not where they was at.
Exactly.
You know, some people might be like, "Oh, I need them to be down here."
Yeah.
No, I want her to be here.
Yeah.
So it feels good to see her just continue and continue and continue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
To elevate. So that's amazing.
And same here.
Thank you.
Same. You already know. I'm like, come on, let's go. We doing this thing seriously. So really quickly, I just wanted to ask a few questions about the zoning or permitting process. What is the process? So I purchase a property. I want to rehab this property. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do. Go.
I like that. Yeah, go.
Okay, you got it. What?
So the first thing that you always want to think about when it comes to a property is I'm always going to ask you, just like the city would, I need to know what's the zoning. Are we dealing with a single family? Are we dealing with a multifamily? Multifamily meaning anything that's 2 units and above. Right. And are we dealing with commercial? But commercial could be 2 different things. Commercial could be a 3 unit and above, like a 3 unit, 6 unit, 8 unit, 10 unit, and so on. Or it can be a commercial mixed use, which is a commercial at the bottom, commercial space at the bottom, but you have the living dwellings at the top. So it all depends on what it is. So that's the first thing I'm going to ask you, exactly what type of property we're dealing with. The next question I'm going to ask you is what type of rehab are you doing? Tell me exactly what you're doing. Tell me the raw. Like, I'm your attorney, and I'm going to decipher it how I need to decipher it in order to get the proper permit. I never have to see a property to get the right permit. Tell me what's going on, then I'm tell you exactly what permit you need for that project. I'm going to tell you if the GC licenses is always required, but I'm going to tell you about your electrician, your plumbing. I'm the one that words it. I'm the one, and I'm also going to ask you about who's your architect, who's your engineer, who you working with. Give me their information because in the beginning, I'm not going to need the owner or the contractor. I just need to be one-on-one with that engineer and with that contractor so I can get the best result. And we have to be on the same page because what we put in the scope of work for your project has to match what's in those plans as close as possible. So it seems like a lot because I do it distinctively.
Right.
And it is a lot if you're not, if you don't do this every day.
Listen, use an expediter. I'm trying to tell you guys.
Yes, it is.
Personal
it is
experience.
A lot. It's a lot, but you know, it's worth it in the long run because we essentially become your back office. We become the people that, I don't know, call my expediter. I don't know, call Bria, call Paulette, call whatever. It's just easier. And then you guys can concentrate on doing what it is you do or staying on your vacation or whatever it is you do because we handle all of the situations and the problems for you. If somebody needs to go downtown, then we're the ones going downtown to represent you. If we need to get on the chat, we're going to get on the chat. We need to get on the Zoom or virtual. We're the ones getting on the Zoom or virtual. It's just that simple. If your contractor has a situation and they need their license renewed in the middle of the project, we renew their license. If they don't have a license, we get them one.
Think of my question right there. I was going to ask you that question.
Yeah, we don't. But and then they can't fluff me neither. So that's another thing. A contractor can't fluff me. So
there's certain things that they need to have in place.
They need to have in place. But just because they have a GC license doesn't mean that they're a good contractor. Neither.
Absolutely.
So there's sometimes I will ask you who's your contractor too because I need to know from my experience because I might have had experience with them.
And you're going to give the wink and say, don't use them, Use them good, yes.
I got a question. Yes. So I keep on hearing you saying GT license.
GC.
Say GC. GC is in Charlie, right?
Yes.
So what is that? What's that? Because you just throwing that around.
So
like,
let me explain to you.
It's gold.
So there's 2 different licenses that the city of Philadelphia accepts. You have your general contractor's license. That's just an abbreviations for general contractor.
All right. There we go. Okay.
For the city of Philadelphia only. All right. That requires OSHA and all those kind of things. But then you also have something called a PA license, a PA home improvement license, which is a Pennsylvania home improvement license, which is issued by the state but not by the city of Philadelphia. Now, a lot of contractors was able to get away for years for using this PA home improvement contractor's license, but that only allows you to work up into a duplex, and you can't do complete rehabs. So, and you still have to register that PA home improvement license that only costs $50. Okay, and they call themselves a GC. It only costs $50, and you register that with the city of Philadelphia. The actual license that most contractors from developers, these big time developers have, is called a general contractor's license, but it's only good in the city of Philadelphia. Now, if you're dealing with Jersey, Delaware, New York, Montgomery County, Delaware County, Chester County, then they will require that PA home improvement license. They don't accept the city of Philadelphia license. So it's good to have both, because the one license under PA, I believe you don't need to renew that one. But the general contractor's license with the city of Philadelphia, it has to be renewed every year.
Okay.
And it's less requirements.
So I have another question for you. So that was some good information.
Real quick.
Oh,
we are here, right?
I'm going to say, I'm about to give
me.
I'm about to give her some stuff. I got some stuff. She's talking my language now. She's talking some permits. I don't know, Des. Go ahead.
But Chris going to get me, so I have to say we are here with Real Talk with the Real Estate Diva. We are here with Miss Paulette Ahmad, the Philly Permit Plug, and Miss Kiwa of Ink Activated Mobile Notary Services, right?
Yes,
so, okay, Kiwa, I just wanted to plug that, right? So, go ahead. Go ahead, Kiwa.
See, she flowing this thing. So listen, oh my goodness, this seems like that's a lot of information. So, we're trying to do things. We're trying to be legit about the thing. So now you go buy these buildings. For example, I'm in the process of looking for a commercial building. Okay. So I think that I can do, I know I can do some of this work. So do I need a permit for some of the things? Like if I know that I can gut the building out myself, do I need a permit to gut the building? Because I see a lot of people going out and they're looking for duplexes and triplexes. And some people say, hey, I'm going to get somebody from Home Depot or my friend, we're going to have a gut party and everybody going to come together. We're going to gut. Do you need a permit for that? What do you need as a permit?
A gut party.
That's a gut party because you go. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a gut party. It's called a clean out. We're gonna clean a clean out party. So you gonna do okay? Yeah, I'm see real estate. You know how to go. It's no gut.
You can do that.
Is that allowed? So let me know. I'm trying to be legit here. Listen. I think I'm doing something.
Paulette, she like
Paulette looking. She nodding her head. Y'all like no, don't do that. You can't do that. Okay.
Whatever. Listen, it's at your own risk. Okay.
Okay.
The gut out parties is at your own risk. Okay. I always say before you go purchase a property, depending on what you want to use it for, you talk to me first, right? I'm the one that tell you what property to purchase that's going to make sense for what you're trying to do. I don't care if it's a church. I don't care if it's a daycare center, an event space, a juice bar, a CBD store, a gym. Hey, Paulette, I'm looking for this. What type of building can I purchase that's going to allow me to use it for this use, right?
Yeah, because
if not, you're going to waste your time.
Yeah, because certain zoning, right, properties you can only do certain things
exactly
at those properties, whether it's RM1, CMX2, or whatever it is.
Right, RCMX.
Yes, all of those things. You can't do everything at every property.
Do y'all hear these girls over here talking this lingo? Do y'all hear them? Y'all hear this real estate and this plug over here and this permit lady over here? Y'all hear these two ladies? They plugging it in today.
You do need it's called an interior demo permit.
Oh.
Okay, and it's usually issued within 24 hours.
And how much is that?
You do need a GC to pull it. I mean, we could pull it, but you need a licensed GC to go on the application. We usually charge $500 for it, and we pay for the.
You charge what?
$500 for interior demo permit.
For you
we pay for your whole permit. Okay, so a permit has two different fees.
All right, there we go. Clear.
A permit has a submission fee that you have to pay to submit, and it has an issuance fee once they have reviewed the plans or the permit. When they're ready for it to be issued to you, you pay a fee for it to be issued. Okay, but it does depend on the square footage of the property. So if you're talking commercial, I'm always going to ask you the square footage. Because to get technical, you could do it's two different types of demos too. You could do an interior demo, which is demolition and take the building down, or you could do an interior, just a gut. And then you could say, I'm only gutting the first floor, but I'm going to leave the second and the third the way it is. I got to be specific. So Yeah, so it all depends, but it could be issued really quick.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
so I'm doing a demolition now.
So your
Complete
fee
demo.
includes the fees to the city as well, or
For the interior demo,
Your
it does.
fee.
We
Okay.
have about 5 fees that include both submission and issuance fees. Little fees like that, like easy permits. We do like little package deals and stuff like that because I can anticipate what the cost is going to be. But when you're talking the standard building permits with plans, demolition permits, most of my clients pay their own issuance fees because I never know what those fees are going
the
to be.
fee is going to be? Yeah.
Right. I never know what those fees are going to be. So because of that, I like to make sure that we're not on that end of it. And I've been on that end where I've kicked out $2,500 for a permit. I only got paid $1,600 for. So it's not a pretty.
That was a learning experience. Though. That was in the
That's
beginning.
a big learning experience. I don't know.
Included
It
it,
is.
not realizing the end price. And when that end price came, it was one of two things: go back to the client and ask for more, based on what I had on an invoice. Because I said, look at the invoice. Go see the invoice. Look at the invoice. I said, dang, I said I was going to. So I tighten. When I do something wrong on the contract, I always go back to the contract and we tighten up. You know what I mean?
Right.
But most of the time they pay their own issuance fees because the issuance fees is based on the square footage of the property as well as the scope of the cost estimate of the property. And if the property is $100,000 rehab or $200,000 rehab or $80,000 rehab, and then the square footage is 2,000 square feet, it could be hefty on that end, and I only made $600, and now I got to kick out another $1,500. I work for free, so
We don't want to do that.
no. I've done. Yeah, we charge consultation.
We're
fees
nice
now,
people,
I've
but
done
we don't want to do that.
But you did say you had your business, the cleaning business. So you don't think that you would bring that under your new business, being as though they both go hand in hand as far as the clean out and.
Well, I don't do any
now?
more work as a. I never really did general contracting work. I more so did project management. So so the cleaning part, I was kind of burnt out. Kind of like anyway, I literally quit and never, ever, ever looked back, and that was weird. So I knew it was definitely time for me to go. I stopped that in 2019, like February 2019. Never looked back. I still work for the people and do all their real estate and they licenses and they tax clearances and stuff like that, But as far as the cleaning part, I'm nowhere in interest. I can't be involved in something I'm not interested in.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm
Good.
Her
just.
gift is making room for her, y'all. It's making room for her. She is focused on doing what she's
Any
gifted
more
at.
questions, Miss Kiwa?
Yeah. So what's your goals? What's your goal? What's your long term goals? Because it looks like right now you on fire. You know what? You can be. It's just like you a new babe in Christ. When you're a new babe in Christ, you on fire for the Lord. I'm on church every Wednesday, Friday, all day, Sunday.
Listen, it be the Lord that got me through too. A lot today, yesterday, day before, months ago.
Yeah.
So how do you think that? What's the plans for the future? Because you're on fire now. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all can see the sun in this room right now and the positive energy, you guys would want to step in this pool as well. So listen, tell us what.
Right. We're Philly permit expeditors, right? And we got the permit plug the same way, the permit plug name, because we were essentially kind of adopted that name for what our clients will call us, because we will make things happen that they've never seen before, never knew before, and get things done efficiently. The same way that real estate diva McDuffie was given her name,
Right?
and she took her name, Diva McDuffie, that she was given that name. So my goal right now is to run my company from afar, but have someone kind of replace me, have someone else run Philly Permit. The Permit Plug actually has his own thing going on. It has his own podcast.
Yes.
It has his own website.
Plug
it has
the
its own
podcast.
YouTube channel. So the Permit Plug, essentially, I'm growing that. We actually, Permit Plug is going to be in Baltimore in January. We're growing that because I want to be the plug for permits across the country. So basically what I mean by that, that we put together a website. So if you're in Atlanta, LA, Detroit, Houston, Miami, wherever, you will go to the Permit Plug website, and then it'll be all those cities and states. And if you want to have a company that do what we do, instead of you Googling it and that kind of thing, you could go to the Permit Plug, and we'll have all the top companies that do permit expediting for permits and construction, expediting for trucking, and expediting for restaurants. That is where we at. Our logo is that. It's a circle of the world. And then it has trucking, restaurant, and buildings. So essentially, I would like to travel around and just like introduce ourselves and what they call affiliates.
Yes.
Create affiliates throughout other cities and states to introduce a permit because we're behind the scenes people.
Yeah.
Let's just face it.
Yeah.
We're behind the scenes people. So essentially, I want to have my podcast to introduce the behind the permits. My podcast is called Behind the Permits. It's going to be dropped on Black Friday.
Oh, wow.
And to let people know all of the craziness that happened behind permits, not just a ugly house and then now it's pretty. Ugly house. No, we want to know what happened. Like when the po got you, we want to know what happened when Eleanor shut you down. We want to know, the people want to know, how did you get out of it?
Absolutely.
And what did you do after it? And how much did it cost you? What? They want to know that. So that's what the Permit Podcast is about. It's about all the ugly stuff behind, how they got out of it, and about being real. When you're on the podcast, I mean, this is the radio, but it's different. They might curse a little, you might cry, you might laugh. You're going to laugh, you're going to crack up for sure. Because you can crack up now,
right?
But then you're mad as hell.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
oh
I know
yeah.
he didn't just do
Yes,
this, or
exactly.
this contractor did this,
there,
and whatever,
yes.
and then because I get those calls. Paulette, can you remove this contractor from my permit? Paulette, can you remove that contractor? So that's the part that's fun. So the podcast. So I'm bringing what's as a permit expediter from behind the scenes. I'm bringing into the forefront.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because we play a lot behind the scenes a lot, So since that's what I want to do. I want to travel, I want to do that, but I still want to run my company from here. And then I also have I'm teaching I have my assistant teaching my VA how to run certain things. So things will be ran because they're in different time zones. Things will be ran to help relieve her until we can find somebody. But I had to find somebody that was like-minded to the point where they will work.
Say that again. Say that one more time.
Work like me, but they were like-minded and love what they do enough like I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
That if I have anything on my desk, she'd be like, what's that? And she take it off and she handles it. And I'm telling her things and she's handling it. And she has her own to-do list. She has that. Like you said, you have it. She has that. She reached out to me her own and what have you. So I'm loving that, and I don't have a problem sharing it because my goal is bigger than just kind of where this is. So eventually, I want to travel, and I want to actually teach people how to make money. See that?
Yeah, come on. See, I was on it. You see my ears going up. You seen my ears over here going up.
I have a following of other expediters, like in California, Florida, that also chime into me. And they want to know, how do you make, 6 to 7 figures as a permit expediter? How do you do that? What system do you do? I just started being more perfecting before you just do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I could be here and be walking down and do this and post it,
Yeah.
But they want to know how you do that. And, so that's another thing. I want to teach other expediters that are independent expediters, because they're independent just like notaries are.
Yeah.
How to make that kind of money through social media without ever having to walk into a brick and mortar if they don't necessarily have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would like to eventually teach them how to do that. I think that would be exciting because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Absolutely.
You don't know what you, as an expediter, just like a realtor, we own our license.
Yeah.
We had to go through FBI clearance too. How about that, to be an expediter? I know in the city of Philadelphia we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just really quickly, to go back to the basics of what you were just saying, the things that are required. How does one actually, I guess, begin or get into the business of being an expediter? And what are some of the myths that come with being an expediter? Like, what is it that you can do, you can't do? What are some of the obstacles maybe that you ran into? You talked about that, right? Some of the obstacles that you maybe have run into and then possibly overcame. Because, I really want our listeners to, get a true feel for what a permit expediter can do and what you can't do.
That is such a great question. So a permit expediter, so let me say the difference between a permit expediter and an acceleration when it comes to a permit. An acceleration is when you want your permit to be reviewed quickly.
Okay.
For 5 days or 7 days, you get it back quickly instead of waiting your standard 15 to 20 days. As an expediter, we cut out we don't make the permit go quick like an acceleration would, but we make sure that it goes to the right departments.
Okay.
We don't like most people when they're applying for permits. We're that liaison between the owners or the investors and everybody in the city of Philadelphia. I'm just using the city of Philadelphia. So we know exactly how to file, when to file, what paperwork generally goes with it. So we help you to be as most efficient. We read the architectural plans and make sure it makes sense to our conversation. So we try to be, our job is to be as proactive as possible. And as soon as we get it, it's passed back off to who it needs to go to. And then it gets, keep your communication with you guys, and then get the ball back. Once it gets back from the city, and the city may need it to be revised, our job is to take that ball again and take it back and know who's it's supposed to go to.
Okay.
So that's what, and then even break down what the city wants, because sometimes the average contractor may not know.
Right.
They can't understand the city's language. I don't know what they mean, but we as an expediter, we see it all the time, so we know exactly what they mean. Okay. Now, as an expediter, we can do everything. We can file for all building permits, from building, construction, commercial, new construction. We can do heating and air conditioning. We can do fire suppression. We could do food vending licenses. We could do contractor licenses. We could do we do Airbnbs. We do zoning. We could do there's not anything that an permit expediter cannot do without having to be a GC. Now, people think that you had to be a general contractor to be able to do these things, and that's not true. We essentially can do more than a general contractor.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So we're the ones that add a general contractor to it, and we're the ones that tell you if you need it, if you don't need it. We're the ones that tell you if you need to have seal plans, not seal plans, So as an expediter, you have to be a go-getter. Okay, you have to be a go-getter. It's a hustling job.
I like that.
It's easier to say it than to do it. Like for instance, like for example, for my mentees, I start them off with a simple folder and tell them the permit number goes here, like how I follow my own system, the basics. But then if they want to make money quick, because I can make you your money back, like I was like $5,000 up for mentees. I can make, my one mentee just started a week ago and she made back $1,000 of $5,000 she spent with us. She made in 1 week, because I can show her how to take what she learned and I had her break it down. My first question is how do you really want to be an expediter, or are you just trying to dabble in it sometimes? If you want to be a full-time expediter, my conversation is different. But if you just want to be an expediter and do certain things, and you need to specialize in zoning, specialize in license, specialize in interior demo and everything, So an expediter is definitely a hustling job. Be careful with how you do your fees. The fees matter. Getting the clients is not going to be too difficult, but you got to be careful what you offer them. Make sure that it's something that's simpler versus something that's more, because she picked up a make safe. And I'm like, what you going to do with that? What you going to do with the unsafe? I don't know. She doesn't know. She charged $500. $500? Like, it don't make sense. And they needed to use her as a GC. No, we don't do that. So it depends how you get your money. As an expediter, they will play with your money. So you need to make sure whether you need to get your money up front. Do you get paid a deposit? Do you get money on the end? You should never get your money on the end, because sometimes no permits don't never show up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're subjective to the city, So it's a lot. Being a permit expediter is a hustle. You gotta want to do this business. People are going to hold you accountable. And you have to have. I always say have a mentor or somebody that you can fall back onto, because
can't be the smartest person.
I just wrote that down.
Yeah, have a mentor or somebody you can fall back onto, because it just makes sense. But you got to want to do it, because you would get burnt out really, really, really quick. But as an expediter, I feel like I felt when I was a realtor, like I'm cocky, like I'm an expediter. Expediters can do.
Is that how your realtor people feel? Cocky.
I don't feel cocky.
And city, we can maneuver everywhere. It's not just a GC. Well, why is a GC in here? But if I'm an expediter, I could be there for court. I could be there for anything, license. I could be there for an attorney. I could be there for a developer. I could be there for anybody. And it gets me in rooms, because the expediter could do so many. I could be an expediter for what you guys are doing, and I'm expediting whatever licenses you need. So it's a rewarding thing. You will make your money. And an expedite should make about 1,000 a week minimum. Should make about 1,000 a week, and that's
how many hours though? So you're saying 1,000 a week? Because I'm looking at 1,000 a week, but how many hours I got to put in for that 1,000? I don't want to work too hard.
I don't know how many hours. Because see, me, it's again, if you keep it simple, it takes minutes. For me, if you do it, it takes.
Okay.
For me, it takes a couple minutes. It depends on what it is. Like for me, helping my mentee out, she literally made. We also offer OSHA 30 certifications as well.
Yes, I was about to say. Wait,
what is that? What is that?
We offer OSHA 30 certifications.
What is that?
What
is that?
Come on, girl. Okay, OSHA 30. All right, with your general contractor licensing and the requirements is to have your health and safety. With OSHA 30, and that's when you see the hard hats and you see the reflecting jackets, all that right
safety,
there.
Yeah.
That's health and safety. If you go up so far on a ladder, you're supposed to have a spotter down there to spot you. If you're digging in the ground as a plumber, you ever see a person stand over the top of that person? That's an OSHA safety requirement.
And that's a requirement.
That's a requirement in order to be a general contractor with the city of Philadelphia. Only, but then other states require that as well. But the OSHA 30 certification is good in all 50 states, including Puerto Rico, and is good for 5 years.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I'm glad that I have all my stuff done before the pandemic and before they start putting all stuff in place, because I didn't have all this stuff when I bought my building. I didn't have all these things.
Yeah.
I got it. Like I said, I got it.
Yeah.
Got the dumpster, called it a day. And now I see people putting the paper outside the window. So are you the person?
I'm the one that issues the paper.
So that paper, what's on that paper? That paper says what?
That's a seal from the city of Philadelphia. So it's a permit that allows you to be able to work legally.
So I just worked at the hour. So I just after 6 o'clock just stopped working. So now I know. So
It'd be nice to your neighbors.
I'm gonna be nice to my neighbors.
Please be nice to your neighbors. Be nice to your neighbors.
Wow, you got some good information. I gotta keep on talking to you.
Absolutely. Well, Paulette, thank you so much for coming on. I mean, you've given us a wealth of information. Just like everybody else, we got to do a part 2. Like I keep saying that with everybody, right? Because I just feel like we don't get enough. You know what I mean? Like an hour is not enough, and I'm not doing 2 hours, but an hour and one moment.
I told her she should do a seminar. I told her that's what she should do. Have all these people come back. So every person that comes on have a lot of information for us. And like she right, that hour is not enough. So I think a seminar that she should have when everybody just come in, you got to do questions and stuff like that. And like you said, network.
We're going to make it happen.
So yeah.
We're going to make it happen.
Yeah, that's some good stuff there. I don't know.
Networking is key. I'm 1,000% that. I'm that person that will come in the room. I will be in the room.
I told you, her gift. That is her gift.
Telling
that
you,
is her gift. She will connect
I'll travel.
with people.
I've traveled by myself to Cleveland and spent with for 4 days, 5 days, 4 nights. I've traveled to Atlanta, stayed for 5 days, 4 nights. So yeah.
All right, Paulette.
Yes.
I need you to give your information so that our listeners will know how to contact you in the future and be able to hire you as the permit plug for their permits or, come to you for their OSHA certification, all of those wonderful things. So how can our listeners get in contact with you?
So you guys there's 2 ways you can get in contact with us. You can follow us on Instagram at Philly Permit Expeditors LLC. As soon as you put Philly Permit in there, more than likely we're just going to pop right up. So that's on our IG page. Or you could also go to our www.phillypermitexpeditors, Expeditors with an ER, not an OR, .com. We're on there as well. And you can contact us through that way. To set an appointment with us, you would have to go through our IG, or you can contact us at our office number at 610-925-9170, 610-925-9170. And listen, guys, we are right in South Philadelphia. We are at 1229 South 28th Street. So we're in the heart of all the construction, everything that's going on. So definitely feel free to knock on the door, introduce yourself. And talk to me or one of the people in my office, and we could definitely help you get started or untangle some of your questions on your projects that you may need answers on or whatever.
Fantastic. Thanks again.
Yeah. You're welcome.
All right, guys. So this has been another Real Talk with the Real Estate Diva, Desiree Real Estate Diva here. I can be reached at phillyrealestatediva.com, and I look forward to speaking with you guys again next Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m.